Welcome back to Short Times. Today I'm going to walk you through the film Emancipation from 2022, directed by Antoine Fuqua. So let's get started. At the start of the film, it is said that Abraham Lincoln instantly signed the end of slavery and made the slaves free. In the starting scene of the movie, 35,000 slaves in a state of rebellion were waiting for Union troops to free them. They have a choice to wait for them or run for their own freedom. 1863 in Louisiana. Before being sent to a new plantation in Clinton, a slave Peter, Will Smith, is enjoying his final moments with his family, which includes his wife Dodiane and children Betsy, Cyprian, and Laurette. When Peter is taken against his will from his house, he fights the handlers to get back home. The moment one of the men turns a gun on Dodiane, Peter finally gives in and is taken with other slaves. One of the handlers says Peter is the best blacksmith. Peter and other slaves land in Clinton, where they are forced to work and are subjected to constant torture and discrimination. John, a slave who previously attempted to flee, has his cheek branded. Late at night, Peter expresses his confidence in God, but John dismisses him, claiming that there must be no God for them to be in their current circumstances. Peter hears that the Lincoln Army is at Baton Rouge, and that a large number of slaves are fleeing there in search of freedom. He comes up with a scheme to get away by navigating the marshland. The day after, when Peter is forced to bury dead slaves in a ditch, he waits for explosions to occur so that he can attack and murder the handlers. After killing the handlers, he starts to run toward the swamp with some slaves. Following that, a gang commanded by Fassel pursues them. The handlers' dogs locate Tomas, one of the slaves. Fassel offers Tomas freedom in exchange for telling the men where the other slaves are going. When he says Baton Rouge, Fassel allows him to walk into the swamp far enough. Later, he kills Tomas by shooting him and letting the gators eat his remains. While Fassel and his soldiers continue their search, Peter separates from the other slaves and starts to make his own route to freedom. Later, Peter is recognized by a slave owner's child daughter. Immediately, Fassel chased him. Peter runs away to a marsh, where he fights off a gator to get away. He then seeks refuge under a tree and tends to his wound. Fassel and his men stop for the night and roast a gator, attended by house slave Knowles. Meanwhile, Fassel tells a tale of how a female slave took care of him as a child and was kind to him. When Fassel requested his father to invite her to dinner, he was told by him that doing so would encourage the slaves to take what the men felt they were entitled to. Afterward, Fassel informed his father that he had been feeding the woman secretly. After hearing this, his father stabbed her, then abandoned her in the fields for 3 days to die. Back on the other plantation, Captain Lyons, the owner, informs Dodiane that she has been sold to a new owner, and that she must wed another man, since she won't be taking her kids. She gets ready to split from her kids. She is unwilling to lose her children, though. Dodiane inserts her arm into a cotton machine as she works on it, in an effort to hurt herself and prevent being sold. Peter keeps doing everything he can to stay alive, hunting for food and water, and also trying to keep himself warm. He also conceals his scent from the slave owner's dogs by using onions. Later on, he finds John. He runs across John and offers him onions to help him cover his scents, but John declines. Meanwhile, as Fassel and his men draw near, John climbs a tree as Peter runs for cover. He was found by Fassel dogs, and his soldiers took him out. When John refused to tell them where Peter was, he was shot, then butchered. At night, Peter comes across a burned-down house where the family has been murdered. He finds a slave girl and tries to save her, but she is badly hurt and passes away after handing him a cross necklace. A slave handler shows up and tries to take Peter with him. However, Peter is able to shoot both him and Knowles. Before killing Knowles, Peter reminds Knowles that for standing by his abusers, he is the worst kind of person. Early in the next day, Peter hears the cannons of Lincoln's army as he approaches Baton Rouge. Fassel, on the other hand, catches up with him and makes an effort to capture him. When the Union soldiers show up, they kill Fassel by shooting him in the neck. Peter is then included in their group. Peter is brought to a camp for medical treatment. Later, Peter is informed that joining the Union is the only method of ensuring his and his family's liberation. After that, Peter is led to a tent where photographers snap images of his bare back to display the numerous lashing scars on his body. and expose the atrocities of slavery to the rest of the world. Peter joins as a soldier and heads to see General Dwight with Captain Andrew Caillou. When Dwight questions Peter's intentions, Peter declares that he would battle those who abused him. Following that, the soldiers' mission is to enter a Confederate camp and seize their weapons. Many major deaths occur as the troops charge into battle, including Caillou. Peter leads a charge in which Union soldiers overwhelm Confederate soldiers and take over the camp. When the native guard passes by Peter's former plantation, he sees lions being put to death. The residents of the plantation rejoice at being declared independent. After some time of looking around and looking for his family, Peter finally finds them and is ecstatically reunited with them. They start praying. In the final text, the picture of the guy Peter was modeled after became a well-known symbol and a protest against slavery. More than 4 million enslaved African Americans were granted freedom on June 19, 1865, and the film faded to a dark screen.